Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week from the depths of exhaustion.
Yeah.
It's like the pit of despair, but made of tired. That's how I would describe it. We are literally about as exhausted as we have ever been when recording one of these episodes. We have spent all day today in the front yard making the display happen.
Yeah.
We've also been dealing with a lot of crap for both of our jobs, because both of our jobs are in a very busy time right now.
Right.
And beyond that, just trying to fit in the other stuff in our social life and trying to, be good partners and everything else.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And after we finish recording this, we're napping off, we're going to bed, and you can't fucking tell us otherwise. I won't like you.
Yeah.
Not that you would. Y'all love us, and we've learned that this week.
Yes, we have.
We have learned that you love us, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Mm-hmm. But first things first, if you do love us, and we know you do, take a moment, follow us at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, youtube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe there, like videos, help us get some traction on the YouTubes. Right now that is underutilized by people, heavily. Yeah. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. And most weeks, not in haunt season.
No.
You're perfectly free to join us Sunday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, as we record these live. My advice is follow us at facebook.com/hauntweekly. Get alerts when we're doing those. We have not been doing them because of haunt season and because we are so stupid busy, but we will be starting those back up in due process because winter is falling, or is falling. Fall is falling. That doesn't make any sense. Cold is coming. That makes more sense. And we'll be able to do a lot more of those. We had to put them on hiatus because the temperature in New Orleans got somewhere, right around Fahrenheit 451. Basically, like paper was spontaneously combusting all over the house. So yes, we're looking forward to actually doing live recordings again. It'll be really exciting. Mm-hmm. All right, so this week we have a very, very interesting episode. We mentioned in our previous episode last week that we like doing deep dives.
Right.
So we're going to do a bit of an experiment this week. We're doing some medium-ish dives.
Yeah.
These aren't super deep dives, but we're going to do a whole series of medium to shallow dives into things that are very meaningful to us. And we've talked about Halloween songs before.
Yes.
But this week, we're looking at classic Halloween novelty songs. Mm-hmm. Mostly from the late 50s to early 60s.
Yeah.
So we have kind of a twist ending on this. Spoiler, I know. But we have...
Yeah, and I will say that these are the Halloween songs that actually are Halloween songs to me.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the songs that I listen to at this time of year, I listen to year round.
Yeah.
Outside of like Disney villain songs.
These are the Jingle Bells, the old King Wenceslas,
Exactly.
You don't bust out Jingle Bells and Wenceslas. I can't even spell fucking Wenceslas. You don't bust that crap out outside of Christmas season.
No.
But I could definitely see you busting out like a White Christmas. Because that's just a good song anytime. It's a good melody.
Okay.
Shut up. No one asked you. But the point of the matter is you're right. These are Halloween novelty songs. Mostly from the late 50s to early 60s. Like I said, we have a surprise ending. Because it surprised the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll surprise some of you all. But first things first, we have some housekeeping notes to talk about. We have been working on the yard display. We're way behind. We're about, honestly, 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Between Hurricane Ida and Crystal's car accident on the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a late jump, and it sucks.
It does.
It really does. We know, we're building the display knowing it may be up a full month, and that's it.
Yeah. But oh my God, the neighbors' reactions.
So much happiness about what we're doing.
Yes. Like, the next door neighbor literally ran out of the house and go, "Hey! I saw the light!"
It was a come to Jesus moment.
Yes, exactly.
Or come to Halloween moment. And our new next door neighbor,
Yes.
who literally just moved in like a week ago,
Right.
is super excited too. And I know our cross street neighbor's happy we're doing something. We can't do the full haunt this year because of COVID restrictions. But man, the nearby neighbors are happy we're doing something.
Exactly. And, this is the first year we're actually going to let people walk through the yard.
Yeah.
Usually it's just a display you view from the sidewalk, but this year we've got a path carved out, so we're going to see how it works.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago, 2018, the last year we were open, we experimented with the photo area that cut into the yard.
Yes, and that worked really well.
That did. So we've been thinking of ways to expand and grow that idea. And with a little creativity and a few Amazon purchases,
yeah,
we were able to arrange it so that we could carve an L-shaped path through the entire yard. People can go there. We have a small suburban plot, so we're not talking about a huge yard.
No.
And that's actually one of the challenges, because how do you have a walking path in something that you don't really have the walking room to put in a walking path?
Right.
And that's one that we've been working on. The walking path itself is done, edged, lighted, as are all the other borders. We have built the goddamn haunted house for the skeletons.
Yes.
The structure is done. And I think at some point, maybe after season, I want to go into lessons learned in that build.
Yeah.
Because what we did, I think, is very interesting, especially in a year where wood is still redonkulously expensive.
Right.
And teaching people how to work with PVC like a tinker toy. Because we had a lot of hard lessons here.
Yes.
And honestly, the car accident, as tragic as it was for all the reasons, helped us learn a few more lessons, because that meant the structure we built the first time sat out there for about a week without us doing anything, because you were injured.
Yeah.
And I was worried about you, and there was just no mental or physical will to do anything
I
with
was
it.
not moving that first week.
So it was left out there, and we actually studied where it fell apart in that time.
Right.
And now we have a lot of great information we tell you about keeping PVC structures together.
Yeah.
And some very, very cheap and easy fixes.
Yes.
That are non-permanent, because a lot of people, just glue the PVC together. No. We want something we take apart and reassemble.
Right.
This is a tinker toy set.
Yes.
We're very big on that idea. We want a tinker toy set. We want something we can build new things with next year or the year after.
Right.
But yeah, to do that, we can't glue the pieces together in any way, shape, or form.
No.
We've gotten some lessons here. We've learned a few tricks, and we've got some great ideas here. I'm very excited to share those later.
Yes.
But not this episode. That's not this episode. But if you couldn't tell, based upon all that news, Crystal is feeling much, much better.
Yes, I am.
I think she is.
Yeah.
You speak for yourself. I don't speak for you.
No, I am. My neck still gets tired at the end of the day, but that's gonna happen for a little while. So
yeah, we mentioned last episode we'd finally confirmed after hell, high water, and a bunch of other bullshit.
Yeah.
That there were no broken bones in her neck, and there was nothing degenerative or like permanent from the accident.
Right.
Which is great, which means it's all muscular. But I say that knowing that I had muscular injuries to my back from a similar car accident, 2006.
Right.
And 15 years later, I'm still feeling the impacts of it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I get it's not perfect. It doesn't mean that there won't be niggles or problems left over after it. Mm-hmm. But it does mean we're not looking at like back surgery. It does mean we're not looking at that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is great. So, yeah, Crystal's doing much better. The other guy is still still dicking us.
Yeah.
I won't go into it too deep. We have a lot of stuff going on here. Mm-hmm. Lawyers are getting involved. But basically, that asshat is at fault. He knows he's at fault.
Yep.
And he's ducking responsibility the best he can because he's a little pussy.
Okay.
I'll put it elegantly.
Yeah.
Sorry, actually, no, wait. Pussies can take a pounding.
Yes.
Tell me, what is he then? You're right. That's not the term to use. What is he then?
Coward?
Coward? Coward's not adequate though.
No. Oh.
I mean, what is he then?
I don't know. Send us your suggestions.
Send us your suggestions. What do we call this guy who's greater than a coward?
Actually, we probably shouldn't. Okay, if it's not safe for work, don't post it to our Facebook.
Yeah, don't get a Facebook ban letting us know what you thought about the guy that hit the shit out of Crystal.
No, but you could send us a message
So
there.
you can email it to us at hauntweekly.com or DM us at hauntweekly at Twitter or DM or message us on Hauntweekly on Facebook. Yeah, probably don't post that publicly because I've caught 24-hour bans for less than that. I'm just being honest with you. And I don't want any of y'all to do it. So just, DM that one. That's a DM situation. Let us know what you think. All right, last week's question of the week, we asked everyone, in the future, how should we handle weeks we can't record? Because we hit a moment in 305 where we couldn't record between the accident and everything else. We just could not record. There was no possible way to do it.
Right.
And we asked you how to do it. Y'all are so fucking sweet.
Yeah.
You make me sick.
Oh. Well, lots of people said that,
Just skip it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Not worry about it.
Life comes before a podcast. And you're right. I mean.
Yeah. And there were a few ideas that we hadn't considered, like make a double episode, like an extra long one the next week. Could see doing that. I think that the most popular idea is to have some on the back burner that are just kind of timeless that we can put out there at any time.
Yeah. And, you know, right now, unfortunately, with our schedules right now, between your new job and the big projects I'm on and haunt season, we're not going to get a chance to even consider that.
No.
Probably until November or December.
Right.
But that's not a bad idea. And you know what? We are going to have some downtime late December, definitely.
Yeah,
because you'll be off. And that may be a time where we just simply set up the microphone, record some extra episodes, and keep them in the back pocket.
Yeah.
We did that when we first started. We did that way back, like 300 episodes ago.
Yeah, but we only did one or two. We didn't
do we did one or two. And the thing is, we didn't use them.
Right.
So they're gone.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago. I don't know where the fuck those files are now. No. Literally, we recorded one or two episodes. I don't remember how many we did. We didn't do many, though. And they're gone.
Yeah.
Because I have changed laptops 3 times. Twice. Over the course of Haunt Weekly. And you've changed it at least once.
Yeah.
And, yeah, backups exist in this house, but they're not particularly well organized.
Right.
So, if I absolutely 100% needed it, if someone put a gun to my head and said, find those episodes, I probably could. But no one put a gun to my head, so I can't be arsed to go through the huge amounts of backup data I have on those mass drives in my office. So I just can't be arsed. But no, that's a great idea, and we'll put it somewhere safe this time, probably because I've started using Google Drive since then.
Yeah.
So we actually have a place to put it now, and where it won't just disappear.
Right.
But that brings us to this week's question of the week, does it not?
It does.
And what is it, Crystal? You let the fine people know.
What is your favorite classic Halloween song? The cheesier, the better.
Yeah, we're talking about classic novelty songs this week. What is your favorite classic Halloween song? The cheesier, the better. The older, the better in many ways.
Yeah. I
want to hear, what is your go-to classic song? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. Leave a comment there as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So that does bring us to this week's episode, the topic du jour, if you will. And this is something we are very passionate about around these parts. One of the struggles we've been having this year is getting the vibe going.
Right.
And from what I've been seeing in haunter groups and elsewhere, we're not alone.
No, lots of people are just tired.
A lot of people have pandemic exhaustion. And yeah, this year, with the limitations and the restrictions and everything, and us not being able to open again.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get motivated to do things like work all day on a yard display.
Right.
So one of the ways we keep the vibe going is we listen to Halloween music.
Yes.
And one of the particular focuses we have is the classic novelty songs, classic Halloween novelty songs.
Right. Because like I said previously, this is pretty much the only time I listen to this specific set of songs. Rest of the year, I listen to spooky stuff all year round.
Yeah, you listen to like the Beetlejuice musical.
Well, yeah, and I listen to a lot of the songs that we've mentioned before, but those are year-round songs to me. These, the cheesy ones specifically, are the ones that are just for Halloween. Yeah. Those have a special reservation for me.
And it's very interesting because novelty songs exist today, technically.
Yeah.
They do. But we're not at the peak of the craze by any stretch. Excuse me. One will come out every once in a while that may get some traction, like Gangnam Style did, and it was definitely a novelty song.
No.
For its time. But so novelty songs exist, they get attention and traction, but we're not at the peak novelty song era. This was something that was closely connected to the novelty dance craze that happened between like the late 50s and early 60s. You got to think like the post, like early doo-wop style 50s into the pre-war 1960s, the pre-war pre-folk / protest music of the 60s.
Right.
That span there is when this really happened. And it was, like I said, closely tied to a novelty dance craze. And you know those novelty dances.
Yes.
Even if you don't know the dance itself, you know of the dances.
Right.
The twist, the mashed potato, the locomotion, which I was surprised to learn was 1962.
Yeah.
I really thought that was an 80s thing.
No.
But it came back in the 80s in a big, big fucking way.
Yeah, it was remade.
Yeah. And of course,
covered.
Perhaps the greatest, the funky chicken dance. These were all legit ones from like 57 through 62.
Yeah.
So yeah. But basically a novelty song is a song built around a gimmick or a humorous concept. It's usually meant to blur humor with musicianship. Mm-hmm. They're meant to be good songs.
Right.
They're going to be toe tappers. You're going to catch a beat. But they're also meant to make you smile and laugh and kind of ooh and ah. And there were a ton of these around that time. Mm-hmm. And one of the first ones to really become involved in it was a band called the Coasters. We might be talking more about them in a minute. Mm-hmm. Hold thy shorts. They did both Charlie Brown and Yakety Yak. Yakety Yak being one of the quintessential novelty songs, I would argue. But yeah, other songs include the Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
Right.
Which is really fucking creepy if you watch the live performance of that.
Yeah.
Like, who do you think was wearing the Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini?
Not the person in that video.
Not the child in that video. Yeah. Spoiler. I know, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was by Paul Vance. And you also had The Surfin' Bird, which is still a novelty song today. It just has Family Guy.
Yes.
But that was by the Trashman, which, by the way, one of my favorite band names.
Yeah.
you gotta respect that band name, right? Mm-hmm. Trashman. They went all in on it. And this is kind of a special topic for me because of my weird knowledge and like understanding of doo-wop music and this whole era of music. I have a strong connection to it because my parents made me listen to it.
Right.
And I studied the crap out of it so I could kick their ass at Name That Tune. And I did.
Yes. Until
the point they stopped playing with me. Because I was getting too good.
Yeah.
I can name that tune in no notes. Fuck you, I got it. But yeah. It continued into the 70s and on into the 80s, but it was by that point, though, it largely became specifically parody artists.
Right.
Ray Stevens, Cheech and Chong, Weird Al Yankovic were, of course, some of the big names there. But that doesn't mean that they were all done by just simply, like, joking artists. Mm-hmm. Chuck Berry did My Ding-a-Ling, which, by the way, is one of the most epic songs of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go check it out if you haven't. It's great. Mm-hmm. It's amazing, and especially check out the video if you can, because it's really amazing. The live performance of it.
Right.
It's great. And of course, Rick Dees had the Disco Duck, which, sweet baby, Jesus.
Yeah.
If I had a time machine and go eliminate a song off the planet, well, we have a contender. I'll just say we have a contender. It might not have a winner, because I think my winner comes up later in this.
Yeah.
But no, I mean... Yeah, still, I didn't say they were all winners, is what I'm saying. I didn't say they're all great.
Right.
100 Floors of Fright, they ain't all gonna be winners here. But yes. But some did manage to focus on Halloween and spooky things and horror. And that's why we're here. So we've got I think we got 6 of these songs.
Yes.
We're going to do medium-sized dives into each of them. And we're going to take them in chronological order.
Okay.
So, Crystal, why don't you lead us off?
All right. The Purple People Eater.
This was a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. What? Okay. Since we can't put clips in this because we're uploading it to YouTube, I'll be singing, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Yes, this was one that I loved as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Because I heard it somewhere, and it was just all of my friends shared that love. It was released in 1958 by Sheb Wooley. It reached number 1 on the Billboard Pop charts June 9th to July 14th in the U.S.
It went over a fucking month at number 1. Pause and reflect on that.
Yeah, and I don't know how it got to number 1, because this is a silly freaking song, right?
It is such a stupid song, and I'm pretty sure Sheb takes no offense at me saying that, because it's just the truth.
Yeah.
And yet, it spent a month and a week...
Yeah.
At number fucking 1.
Yeah, it's not quite...
It was the song of the summer for 1958. Pause and reflect on this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite Lime and the Coconut, but it's up there.
Well, I mean,
but
okay.
It was... Go ahead.
The song was written in 1 hour.
Yeah.
And he wrote it in 1 hour after hearing a stupid joke told by his friend's kid.
I wonder if that friend asked for royalties.
If he didn't, he's a fucking moron. Oh my god.
Importantly, the song established the Purple People Eater eats purple people, not
that it's purple.
That it's purple.
Yeah, we do not know the actual color of the flying purple people eater.
Right.
One-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater.
Now, I remember seeing this monster somewhere.
Oh yeah, there have been multiple iterations of it. There's a video
somewhere, and usually it's purple.
Oh yeah, most people draw it purple.
Yeah, but that's not what the song says.
There's no guarantee the actual fucker's purple.
No, it's just eats purple people, and
And he even says it in the song that he only eats purple people, and he even says he won't eat the narrator because he's too tough, and that's Sheb Wooley. And Sheb Wooley is not that tough. I've seen the images of him. I could probably take Sheb Wooley in his prime.
Yeah.
And I can't take many people, you know?
Yeah. But the song was originally rejected by MGM, but they changed their mind after young people in the office started listening to it.
Yeah, this is really an interesting story because apparently they got a print of the song. Mm-hmm. And they rejected it, and the old fuckers at the top rejected it. But somehow the acetone, the copy of it, kept floating around the office at MGM Records. And the young people, which I guess probably their 20s, would get together on their lunch break and listen to it in a room. And so the old fuckers realized and went, oh shit.
Yeah.
We need to book this. You know? So, yeah. And it also became the nickname for the Minnesota Vikings defensive line in the 70s. Even though, once again, the Minnesota Vikings are purple, they're not eating purple people. Like, I think whoever is eating the Minnesota Vikings is the purple people eater.
Yeah, I spent so many brain cycles trying to figure out what purple people meant as a kid.
Well, I don't know, but on Earth, that motherfucker gonna starve because there ain't no purple people.
Well, I'm like, so if you get bruised enough, are you purple people then? If you're dead and you turn purplish, is that who he's eating? Is he eating corpses? You know?
I think you've thought about this way too hard.
Yeah, I know.
Interestingly enough, the song was covered by Judy Garland the same year it was released. Though that song version is not nearly as well known.
No.
It also spawned a board game in the UK during the 1980s. As for Sheb Wooley himself, just a quick recap of the man himself. He was born in 1921. He's an actor and singer. He's best known for this song. But he did also play the principal of Hickory High School in Hoosiers. And if you're going back and marathoning Hee Haw, he's in a lot of that. But perhaps actually the best known thing he's in, though...
Is everything.
Yeah. If you've ever heard of the Wilhelm scream,
yeah,
he's credited as the voice on it. So the guy that sings Flying Purple People Eater is the voice on the Wilhelm scream. You've not heard of the Wilhelm scream. You have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Google it. And just pause this podcast. Go Google that shit. It's Wilhelm scream. Wilhelm scream. And you will realize it is in every fucking movie and TV show you've ever watched.
Yes.
So, ah!
Yeah.
Sound of someone like falling off a ledge.
Exactly.
Usually it accompanies someone falling off a ledge for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You have heard it a million billion times and just not realized it. Like once you are told about the Wilhelm scream and you hear it and you watch a Vox documentary or something on it, you will never unhear it. It will change the way you...
Yes, now I'll be wondering if those wolf howls are loons or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of those.
But yeah, overall, he had a very successful career in Western TV shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
And as a country singer, he even had a #1 hit in 1962 on the country and Western charts with That's My Pa.
I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Don't know. And he, unfortunately, died in 2003. People dying, and this is going to be a common refrain.
Yeah.
As we go through this. But yeah. So he actually had a pretty broad and interesting career outside of Flying Purple People Eater.
Yeah.
But I did not know the guy that was the voice of the Wilhelm scream also did Flying Purple People Eater.
No.
This is crazy.
It is.
And like I said, if you have not heard of the Wilhelm scream, go check that out like right now. Because it's going to wreck the way you watch movies. I'm not kidding. It will fuck you up in ways you're not ready for.
Or listen to that and decide not to go look it up.
Sure do. Alright, the next one we're talking about was released in 1959, which is appropriate because it's Love Potion Number 9. It was originally performed by a band. It was originally written, by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, not very interesting people, record industry songwriters. It was originally performed by the Clovers in 1959.
Mm-hmm.
But it's become better known because the Searchers re-released the song in 1964.
Yeah.
The Clovers version reached number 23 on the Billboard charts, and the Searchers version released number 3 5 years later. So the Searchers version did way, way better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of tragic for reasons we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Kind of a downer on this one. But anyways, I mean, we all know the song. It tells the story of a guy who's a quote-unquote flop with chicks. It's been that way since 1956.
Yeah.
And goes and seeks out, well, a lot of offensive terminology here.
Yeah.
But he seeks out a potion brewer, in this case, who creates Love Potion Number 9, and the dipshit, rather than giving it to the person he wants to fall in love with him, takes it himself, and just runs around and starts kissing the living shit out of everything and everyone.
Yeah.
That about right?
Yeah, that's about right. Cute kid song, huh?
Yeah. It's really not aged well.
No, it has not.
I mean, it advocates date rape with an aphrodisiac.
Right.
Sexual assault, him kissing everything, including the cop that eventually arrests him.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses the G word,
mm-hmm.
which we do not use anymore because we now understand the origins of that term and why it is offensive.
Yes.
There is the Searchers actually released an alternate version after the first one. They released 2 versions of the song, which made a reference to Love Potion Number 10. Because basically in their second version of it, the guy is so happy after getting arrested, he decides to go back and see about Love Potion Number 10. Because he's a dumb motherfucker that never learns.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you think that should be enough the first go around?
You would think. I mean, apparently he didn't, though. So.
Anyway.
But yeah, the song actually became basis for a 1992 film starring Sandra Bullock and Tate Donovan.
Did not do well. Any respect to that word.
No. I actually remember seeing this, and I do not have fond memories of it either.
Well, you're not alone. It has a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. And
it only earned $754,000 and basically $755,000 at the box office, despite a full theatrical release.
Yeah.
Because in 1992, no one had a hankering for a cheesy, stupid film based upon a 1959 novelty song.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that, right? Now, with this, we're going to do two quick biographies. One is on the Clovers.
Mm-hmm.
They were an R&B black doo-wop group. They formed at Armstrong High School in D.C. They had many R&B hits.
Yeah.
They did very well in the R&B charts before this, and they had several novelty songs that we discussed. But Love Potion number 9 actually came at the end of what you would consider their successful run. It was actually the last song they had that charted in any appreciable way.
Yeah.
And then the Searchers were founded in the 1960s in Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Remind you of anyone? No, of course not. Their first album was released in 1963, but this song was their only major success. And their Wikipedia entry basically is nothing more than a giant table of the lineup changes.
Oh, God.
It's ridiculous. My fucking head hurt looking at that chart. But yeah, they kept touring and performing, but eventually retired in 2018, though they did not rule out a reunion.
Of course they didn't. They can just change members and
no. It's easy if you keep changing members. It's not like all these other ones where it's like an auteur, a solo auteur who died.
Yeah.
That's a cheat, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, the reason, though, this is kind of a weird, sad case is the song was released, like I said, in 1959 by a black group, the Clovers.
Yeah.
It did well, but not gangbusters.
Right.
And then 5 years later, it was released by a white British group.
Mm-hmm.
And shot to the top of the charts.
Yeah.
An unknown white British.
Yeah.
It's just rough.
It is.
And it's like, oh, I wonder what the difference there is. You know? Oh, but now we come to one of my favorites. Crystal, take the lead.
Yeah. I put a spell on you. And now you're mine.
Yep.
All right. Released in 1956. This is from Jealousy, Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
And from now on, we'll just say Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
Yes.
Because nobody knows him by Jealousy or whatever it is.
No.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised that you put it in here.
It's Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
Yeah. But I was surprised to learn this never reached the top 100.
Never graced anything remotely resembling a hit in terms of commercial success. No, never kissed it.
That's crazy.
However, it did get a concession prize.
Yes. It
was ranked number 313 on Rolling Stone magazine's list of 500 all-time greatest songs.
Yeah.
You know, that's a hell of an honor. How many number ones didn't get that on that list?
Right. And even though it wasn't at the top 100, it became a major commercial
just
success.
Over like many decades.
Yeah.
Just way spread out.
It was really spread out, but it surpassed 1 million copies sold.
Yeah.
That is not bad.
No, he not like it was a flop. It was like a cult movie in that it just took years and years and years to come around.
Yeah.
But anyways, the song, the way it was written, this is according to Screamin' Jay Hawkins, by the way, it originally was intended to be a refined love song or blues ballad.
Yeah.
But according to Hawkins, basically they all got really fucking drunk in the recording session.
Yeah.
And this weird version came out. And he actually has a thing where he says, hey, basically, you know, I went into this, I was just a regular blues singer named Jay Hawkins.
Right.
And I realized there was much more for me in doing this screaming and murdering the song version of it.
Yeah.
And I became Screamin' Jay Hawkins, and
history was made.
It was done. And you know what? Fuck you, because you'll never be as cool as Screamin' Jay Hawkins. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, is he wrong?
No. And this song is one of those that gets a lot of covers. Nina Simone did it in 1965. That's one that's on a lot of the current Halloween playlists.
That version gets a lot of play compared to the Screamin' Jay ones,
Yeah. CCR in 1969. Bette Midler in 1993 with Hocus Pocus.
And that, I think, is the version that reintroduced the song to, like, modern, like, people that are slightly younger than us learned it from that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then Jeff Beck and Joss Stone redid it in 2010. Have not heard that version.
No, I've not either. And it's just interesting, like, you have several contemporary covers to it.
Right.
And then it came back in a big way in the 90s and the 2000s and even today. You can see how the song has remained.
Mm-hmm.
A little background on Screamin' Jay, though.
Yeah.
He was born in 1929 in Cleveland. He was quickly put up for adoption and was raised by the Blackfoot Indian tribe. He joined the U.S. Army in 1942 with a forged birth certificate. He was only 13.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know that we were in World War II at that time.
Yeah.
But goddamn, Army, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just didn't check very closely. They really needed people.
Well, he served for 10 years and was honorably discharged in 1952. At the age of 23, he had a 10-year military career.
That is insane.
I can't even say that without sounding drunk. I mean, it's
No.
yeah, 10-year military career, 23.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, does it?
No, that doesn't sound like something that's possible.
No. I Put a Spell on You was easily his biggest hit.
Mm-hmm.
The record label, and this is a weird factoid about it, actually recorded 2 versions of it. Because what happened is, I guess, like we said, he passed out, got blackout drunk and did the song.
Yeah.
Got fucked up, did the song, and had to relearn the song from the live recordings.
Right. Yeah.
Of himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
His own live recordings he had to learn his music from.
Right.
And so they recorded 2 versions of it. One with all the grunts and the oohs, ahs and all that. And one without. And the reason was because radio stations were hesitant to play it at that time, thinking it was too sexually charged or had too strong a sexual nature. It was still largely banned in spite of that, which might be one of the reasons why it didn't crack the top 100.
Right.
He was routinely compared to a black Vincent Price. I do not object to that at all.
No.
I'm a huge Vincent Price fan, and I respect that. I respect that comparison.
Yeah.
He was originally famed for his operatic vocal delivery, and one of the interesting things, I did not know this, he was a supporting actor in a 1989 independent film called Mystery Train, and for that role, he won an Independent Spirit Award.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was never a great recording success, but thanks to this song and his very, very, very theatrical performances of it,
right,
he always had a place on stage right up until his death. He died in 2000 rather, and in 2001 he was the subject of a documentary entitled Screamin' Jay Hawkins, I Put a Spell on Me, which I now have to see.
Yeah. Yes, that is now on something that'll probably be watched by the end of the month if we're able.
Yeah, it's such an awesome life. And like I said, you will never be as cool as Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Just give it up now. That level of cool does not exist for mere mortals like us. Sorry, y'all.
Nope.
Well, let's see here. 2 years later, in 1958, was released the song "Witch Doctor!" Exclamation point.
It's always better with an exclamation
Indeed.
point.
Released in 1958 by David Seville. The real name is Ross Bagdasarian.
Mm-hmm.
And this song literally saved his record label, Liberty Records, from bankruptcy, basically. Now, if you know the name David Seville, if that's ringing any bells, like, where do I know that? And you're like scratching your chin a little, trying to figure out where the fuck you know that from. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Hold up a second. We got to talk about this song first. Don't get ahead of us. You know, smart people don't help the stupid people. Let them catch up with us. But basically, it's very similar to Love Potion number 9 in terms of the content. Guy visits a quote-unquote witch doctor to help him force a woman to love him, says some magic words, and it's implied at the very least that she falls in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. It's widely considered the first Chipmunks song.
Right.
Though it actually is not true. Other songs came slightly before. This was a David Seville pre-Chipmunk song. That's right. This is Fat Dave Seville.
Yeah.
From the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
That asshole.
Uh-huh.
That motherfucker.
I'm getting, the idea you don't really like the chipmunks.
Really? Is that coming across? Fucking good.
Yeah.
That means they're intelligent people in the room. But no, Rob, do a quick bio on Ross Bagdasarian. He was born in 1919, but he's ultimately best known as the quote-unquote manager for the Chipmunks. He was a well-known songwriter before then. He had actually done songs for other people before then, but the Chipmunks came about after he acquired a tape deck that had speed control on it, and he was fucking around with it, and learned he can make high-pitched annoying shit happen by fucking with it. And basically, Liberty Records released a novelty record featuring him duetting with a sped-up version of himself. So it was just him duetting with himself.
Of course. On this
and I've not heard this, and I'm not going to.
No.
Because fuck you, that's why. But it ended up becoming a #1 album.
Of course it did.
And we've all suffered since. Those dumb motherfuckers in 1958 that bought that album tortured us for 60 fucking years. No, 70 fucking years getting near. Yeah. I might not be a big fan of the Chipmunks. I don't know if that's coming across or not.
Yeah, and just real quick back on the song, there's a little section we glossed.
Oh, sorry.
We skipped over.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We need to cover that. Yeah. Also, not a song that aged well.
No, definitely not.
The artwork for the cover.
Don't Google it.
Don't Google it. It's super racist.
It's extremely racist.
It's not even like not even like for its time, not racist. No. It's just racist.
Yeah.
And of course, witch doctor themes. And by the way, Seville is white. He's very fucking white.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. We I'm not going to deny any opportunity to drag Dave Seville. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I want broken glass to put on the ground as I drag him.
Well, you don't have to do that now.
No. But regardless. So anyways, after that album was released, they released the first Chipmunks album ever. So I got to realize, Dave Seville went from releasing Witch Doctor early until 1958 to releasing another album where he duetted with himself the same year, and then the first Chipmunks album, all in the span of a calendar year. Busy fucking guy, fucking year.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and went on to torture billions worldwide through recording music, TV, and movies, including those shitty modern movies with the CGI. Seriously, fuck the Chipmunks. Seville died in 1962, and the Chipmunks didn't have the decency to die with him.
He died in 1972.
1972 is what I said.
You said 60.
Oh, sorry. He died in 1972 and didn't have the decency to take the Chipmunks with him.
Yeah.
Seriously, fuck those three little... My favorite anti-Christmas song is Chipmunk. One of my favorite anti-Christmas songs is Chipmunks Roasting on an Open Fire.
I know.
Just for that very fucking reason. I love a whole song about murdering and torturing and eating chipmunks. It's just so great. I don't even feed chipmunks at the park because fuck chipmunks. I don't give a shit about your hula hoop, Alvin. No one does. Fucking high squeaky voice motherfuckers.
Okay, so...
Yeah, get us back on track.
In 1962 was the Monster Mash. I think everybody listening to this knows the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
If you don't, then definitely check it out. Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kickers
were the performers.
The co-composer was Lenny Capizzi.
Yeah, it was basically a product of Boris Pickett and Lenny Capizzi.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it reached #1 on the Billboard from October 20th through the 27th.
Yeah, it only hung on 1 week.
Yeah.
But still, it hung on the week before Halloween. You got to admit, that's pretty fucking baller.
Yeah, well, and I think that cements its place as a Halloween song.
Absolutely.
Halloween hit. So, but it managed to reach 25 in 2012.
And it's managed to breach the top 100 several times since, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 I think is the highest it's gotten. Highest I've been able to track that it got since.
Yeah. So background on Pickett, he was born in 1938. A former aspiring actor who moonlighted with a band named The Cordials.
Nice band name, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good band name for that era.
Yeah. Famous for doing Boris Karloff imitation.
And if you listen to the Monster Mash, you'll see why.
Yes. And he's got the exaggerated facial
I have
expression.
no idea how, when Boris Karloff died, he didn't become the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To go to
imitate. To do voiceovers or fill that gap, you know?
Yeah.
It was such a natural thing. Anyways.
Yeah, it was composed for the band in response to dance-crazed songs like Mashed Potatoes and The Twist.
Which we talked about earlier.
Right. Sound effects were created in studio.
Yeah, interesting. The coffin sound effect, the coffin creaks open, that was done by pulling a nail out of an old board.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the bubbling sound you hear of the cauldron, that was just a dude blowing in a straw.
Okay. That works.
That was just the two examples I can recall. It was like, they did because there was a lot of sound effects in there. They were all done in studio. As part of, along with the song. It's just nuts to think about that. Like who was on straw duty in the fucking recording studio that day? You know what I mean? Who was on board duty?
Yeah, I don't remember whenever I was like blowing bubbles into milk as a kid thinking, that sounds like the song. No, that didn't happen. It inspired several follow-up attempts, including all by him, including Monsters Holiday.
Probably the only one you've ever heard of.
It's Christmas themed. Monster Motion, Blood Bank Blues, Me and My Mummy, Monster Rap.
That one came out in 1994, I believe it was. That was the much later one. All the others were like right after. And then he took like a few decades off from trying to do.
Yeah.
And then came on Monster Rap. Go ahead, though.
And then finally in the list is the Monster Slash and the Climate Mash.
These were his two environmental songs released not long before his death, unfortunately.
So he had a long career as an actor in voice acting, and he passed away in 2007.
But amazingly, he continued to perform right up until his death, pretty much until the month or two of.
Yeah.
And you can find YouTube videos of him doing it like in 2006 and 2007, and the fucker still had it.
Oh, yeah.
He was still nailing that song.
Yeah. Well, he had been doing it for how many years then again?
Too
many.
Probably about damn near 50 years at that point.
Yeah. So
40 years at least. No, 40. About 45 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had it down and he was doing well with it. And by the way, if you're interested in him, and you should be, I would definitely check out the Todd in the Shadows One Hit Wonderland on him.
Yeah.
He did a One Hit Wonderland about the Monster Mash a few years back. It's a great episode, and it goes into far more detail than we have time to go into here. It goes into his after the Monster Mash music career in ways we can't.
Right.
Because we are already tight on time.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested in more about Boris Pickett.
All right.
And
you
finally,
have our final.
The big fucking surprise this week.
Yeah.
Because when we were brainstorming our list of classical Halloween novelty songs we wanted to play, we almost didn't put the song because we thought it was too obvious and it was too Disney.
Yeah.
But we learned we were wrong in so many ways.
No freaking shit.
The song is Spooky Scary Skeletons. Spooky Scary Skeletons. That one. Anyways, it was released in, pause for effect, pregnant pause, 1996. 90 fucking 6. Yeah. I was 16 when this dropped.
I graduated that year. High school.
It was released, it was by Andrew Maurice Gold. It was released on the album Halloween House with John Waite. And it's a children's album of kitschy Halloween songs for kids, which is great. That has a right to exist. I'm not mad about that at all. But here's the thing. It became a meme in 2010 due to an upload by the YouTuber 3Ply Chord. What they did is they took the video, took the song rather, and paired it with a 1929 Disney short, a silent short called The Skeleton Dance.
Right.
And it fucking worked.
It does.
It's amazing. The video has been viewed at least 27 million times. The original video seems to be gone, but other copies of it exist. So you can easily find it on YouTube. I'm guessing it was a copyright issue. I don't know if it's from Disney or Gold or whatever. But yeah, there's not really much to say about this. I mean, Andrew Gold, I'm sorry, the Red Hot Chili Peppers actually performed this song live routinely during Halloween season.
It's interesting.
So if you go to a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert in October, there's a decent chance you'll hear them play this. They haven't released a recorded version, but they do it live. And the Forbes listed as one of the top 20 Halloween songs.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. I mean, It's a good song. Bit of background on Andrew Gold. He was born in 1951. He had a well-known series of hits in the 70s and 80s, including Lonely Boy and Never Let Her Slip Away. But here's the thing. Spooky Scary Skeletons is not his best-known song. It may be what we haunty people best know him for, but it's not his best-known song by a wide margin. His best-known song that he wrote, he did not do the version of it we know, but he wrote it. It's Thank You for Being a Friend, a.k.a. the Golden Girls theme.
Yep.
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote that. Meaning he got fucking royalties every time that son of a bitch was ever played.
Yeah.
Man, he made crazy bank on the Golden Girls.
Probably.
Someone made money off that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah, the Golden Girls thing, he wrote that. So the guy that wrote Spooky Scary Skeletons also did the Golden Girls theme. When your head's done exploding, you're free to unpause the podcast. But he basically, he kept writing and recording songs, but transitioned to a producer role in the 90s. He actually produced a lot of various songs, and he tragically died in 2011.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's what was so interesting. When we compiled this list of songs we were going to do, I thought this was going to be boring and easy and not really that exciting. I was worried it was going to be a lukewarm episode at best.
Right.
But what I realized is with each of the 6 songs, I learned something I didn't know.
Yeah.
I learned something I consider interesting. You know, because it's crazy to think about how these songs were written. I mean, going back to the list here, it's, with Purple People Eater, you know, we learned, the guy is in the Wilhelm scream.
Right.
Love Potion number 9. We learned about the kind of tragic history of that one.
Yeah.
I Put a Spell on You. Everything about Screaming Jay Hawkins is awesome. There's really no two ways around it. With Witch Doctor, we learned that it's by the fucking Chipmunks, asshole. Monster Mash. We learned. Oh yeah, about how the sound effects were made in that one and how they were not put in post. That was interesting. And with Spooky Scary Skeletons, 96.
Yeah.
And beat Golden Girls guy. So yeah, I think this was a very educational episode.
Yeah.
I feel enlightened coming out the other side. Though also very headachy because now I have the Chipmunks in my fucking head.
Yeah.
Fuck the Chipmunks. Seriously, fuck them so hard. Hate the goddamn Chipmunks. I never liked those little fuckers.
Okay.
Sorry. Moving on, we should probably close up this week. This is episode 307 of Haunt Weekly, so that means next week is 308, which means it is time to do
the news.
And we will be catching up on all the Haunt on an Attraction news that's fit to print or podcast over the past month as we approach the end of Halloween season 2021. Looking forward to that. That'll be exciting. In the meantime, though, take a moment. Follow us at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, youtube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. You can find us at Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. And definitely, if you follow us at facebook.com/HauntWeekly, when we're not in the middle of season, and when things aren't so crazy, we do these live every Sunday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Love to have you join the chat, be a part of the show when we're able to do them live. Until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this has been Haunt Weekly, episode 307, talking about classic Halloween novelty songs. We will see you all next week.